welcome back to another episode of the SOS Wellness Show. I am your host, Tess, and when I tell you I am sending you some positivity, some love, and some abundance right now, I mean it. Because listen, I know it's a lot going on out here. I know it's a lot going on social media. It may even be a lot going on in your family right now. But I want you to know when you watch the SOS Wellness Show, let me tell you something. None of that matters. The only person that we're focusing on right now is you. Because I need you to prioritize you in order for you to show up in the world as your greatest and best version of yourself, in order for you to show up to your family, in order for you to be a great mom, a great sister, a great cousin. You got to have some time for you. So I just want you to know it's okay to be a little selfish right now. We got a little time to be a little selfish just for you. And that's why we created this platform so we can talk about your wellness, so we can talk about your heart. Because, like I always say, I don't think that we talk about that enough. And for any of my new listeners, any of my new viewers, let me tell you something right now. I want you to do one thing. I need you to go ahead and like and subscribe this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you show some love in the comments because we like to hear from you. I like to know what's going on and what kind of topics we need to talk about. So therefore, when we hop on every episode, we get into the meat and the potatoes of everything that's going on in your heart and your mind. Because I don't feel like it's enough places that's out there that's actually talking about your mental health, that's actually talking about your well-being, and that's actually talking about your heart and soul care. So I'm thankful for you being here right now. I appreciate you. And I know I can't see you, but I see you. I appreciate you. I can't say that enough, right? You like, you stop saying you appreciate me. I appreciate you, okay? Because I don't feel like a lot of people say, I appreciate you enough. And for anybody who doesn't know what the SOS part of SOS Wellness Show stands for, SOS stands for Success Over Suicide. Yeah, baby, success over suicide. It's a mindset, it's a way of living, it's a fabric of life. It's the way that you carry yourself no matter what is going on. Because listen, a lot of us have a lot of adversity. A lot of us have been betrayed. A lot of us have been lied to. But I'm here to tell you right now, you were stronger than any stronghold. You were stronger than any adversity. And you were stronger than anybody who has ever tried to hold you back. So, because now you know what success over suicide means, I want you to start waking up every single day. I want you to start lifting any weight, any adversity. I want you to start facing any challenge that's in front of you with a SOS mindset, that success over suicide mindset, telling yourself that you are stronger and you will rise above whatever is trying to pull you down. Because if you think about it, anything that's tearing you down, or pulling you down wants to see you fall. But SOS, being success over suicide, baby, listen, it can be so many things pulling you down, but still you rise. It could be so many people lying on you, but still you gonna rise. It could be everything falling apart, but still you rise, my friend, because I know you were not created to feel like you got the bad end of the stick. I know you weren't created to feel like, you're the last person on the team to get picked. We all know how it was when we were in school, kickball, everybody getting picked, but you. Life isn't like that. But listen, I know I have lived for many years feeling like I was the last person to get picked. I know I've lived for many years feeling like I've been overlooked. And check this out. I've lived for many years waiting for other people to pick me. And not even pick me. I've waited so many years for other people to validate me, my friends. And that literally leads me into the episode title: Validate Yourself. Mm. Those two words, something I just started to fathom, something that I have to fathom every single day because I have this programming of always listening and downloading the opinions of others into the program of my heart, into the software of my mind. But now I'm working to uninstall that type of programming, right? And I'm installing the programming of validating myself, which means that you have to do the same and validate yourself. You no longer need, you no longer It's important to intentionally make the decision to no longer even want to need. Because that want and need is tough, right? Especially when it comes down to the opinions. Because opinions, right? Sometimes opinions can be good. Sometimes you got an outfit, you like, girl, how this look on me, right? This look good. So sometimes we want opinions, right? That's why it's like that want and that need. But see, we have to get better at knowing, okay, when it comes down to certain outfits, or maybe you need a second opinion or whatever it is that you're doing. But when it comes down to you, when it comes down to you loving you have to validate yourself. You have to jump into the wonderland of your own heart. Jump into the wonderland of your own essence. So often I'll be honest, I was only concerned with the essence of others. I've been in relationships, my friends, where I have literally lost who I was. I've lost everything because I was so concerned with the wonderland of somebody else. I was so concerned with that person validating me. So me wanting that external validation made me crave it, made me feel like I needed it. To where when it came down to me validating and loving myself, that felt foreign. That felt like a foreign language. I was like, I don't want that. This is weird. No, 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 no. But see, that's the programming that I want us to understand right now. If you're listening to my voice, if you're watching this video, I need you to get used to the programming of you and not everybody else. And it could be so hard sometimes. It could be so hard sometimes because we're so used to it, right? I'll tell you a story. Lately, I realized how even me needing external validation impacted the relationship that I had with myself and the relationships I started to have with other people. See, for me, and one thing I just gotta give a shout out right now, right? Because I may lose some fans because of this. I may lose some viewers because of this. I may lose some support because of this. But listen, this episode is called Validate Yourself, right? So we about to validate, you about to watch me validate me so I can listen. You got to see it in practice, see it in flow, see it in reality. So therefore you can do it for you. So therefore I'm put myself on Front Street right now. Right now, you ready for this? All right. Okay, cool, 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 cool. This week is Lesbian Visibility Week. In all my life, I've honestly never really tied myself to a label ever. As you can see, I'm not really girly. I'm not really trying to be this. Most people will call me a tomboy. Sure, even that, I've really never been one to attach to labels. If anything, I see myself as a very androgynous individual, meaning that I like to dabble in my femininity and also my masculinity. And I love to harness, I love to do whatever I want as far as my dress, whatever I do, my hair, anything, right? Anything that I do. I'm just now stepping into it because I've been trying to do better as far as validating myself, no longer stepping outside to see, did anybody compliment me? Is anybody looking at me crazy? Instead, I look at myself in the mirror every single day and I ask myself, do I like what I see? Do I love what I see? And if I don't, what can I do to embrace it? And this week I saw that for the first time in my life. I didn't even know there was a lesbian visibility week because I've dated women for a very long time, my friends. Very long time. More than 10 plus years. I've been dating women. And so I'm so happy that there is a week dedicated to such a cause. And with me saying that, it's me validating who I am, not no longer needing the world to validate me, no longer needing social media, my parents, my family. I don't need any of that. Because listen, I want you to have the same type of mindset, no matter who you are, how you define yourself, my friends. It's important for you to always love and appreciate who you are. And in order to do that, we have to no longer prioritize the opinions of other people over the opinion of how we see ourselves. So getting back to there was a time where people would look at me and like, oh, you're not traditional, or You a girl or a boy? What's going on here? How are we supposed to take this in? To where I would use that mindset and I would try to bring it into my relationships on how I handle my significant other. So that's how dangerous it can be. When you are literally looking at yourself through the lens of other people, you'll begin to look at other people. Like literally, you won't even be able to see the essence of you or the people around you. My friends, it is dangerous to operate off the opinions of other people. It is dangerous. But guess what? It is magical when you start to validate yourself and operate off of the opinion, operate off of the strength, operate off the essence, which is you. The more that you validate yourself, my friends, the more that you see yourself. A lot of times we often feel overlooked. We often feel like nobody hears us. And we sometimes probably even feel like, what's the point? But see, if you feel like that, I don't want you to start seeking it from other people and other environments and all these little different cliques and all these different groups or your manager, all this. No, 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 no. If you feel like you're missing validation, my friends, it's not because you're missing validation from the world. And listen, the world probably is missing to validate you. Yeah, that's probably true. But listen, let's focus on what we can control. And what we can control is validating ourselves. So if you feel like you're being overlooked, you feel like you're not being validated, I need you to start validating yourself every single day. That means every time you look past the mirror, oh, I need you to compliment yourself. I need you to start looking in the mirror and being like, ooh, baby, is that, look at them teeth. Baby, look at that. Look at that skin. Look at these eyes. I need you to start validating your essence, validating your beauty. And I'm not just talking about external beauty, my friends. No, 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 no. I'm talking about that internal glow. Because listen, I've even seen it in myself. Like I'm the same person, but I literally saw myself 3 years ago. I look completely different. My face looks different. Everything started to look different because I started to walk into who I am. I no longer walked with my shoulders hunched over, concerned that people will like me or not. I started to walk with my head up high, my spine straight, because I was able to understand the opinion that I had about myself, which is that I love myself. That's the opinion that I want you to make sure you have in your head, no matter what's going on. I don't care if your family has shunned you. I don't care if people at the job is looking at you like, what's going on? I don't care what's going on. As long as you love yourself, my friend, you can make anything happen. And there's a saying, and I always say it, my friends, I always do. It is important for you to go where you were celebrated and not tolerated. Now, some people will hear that and be like, yeah, don't go into no party, don't go into no family functions, no family reunions, don't go into any of that, right? But listen, I'm not even talking about this external thing anymore. I want to start turning it internal. Are you celebrating yourself or are you just tolerating yourself? It's a big question I want you to think about. So when I say, are you just celebrating yourself? I mean, when was the last time you complimented yourself? When was the last time you gave yourself a pat on the back? Good job. When was the last time you told yourself, I love you? See, forms of celebration doesn't mean you have to have a party or, all this and all that. The small things are great ways to celebrate yourself, prioritizing yourself. Recently, I had an opportunity to go to an event, and a lot of people wanted me to go. And something in my spirit, right? Like this is why it's important for you to validate yourself because you begin to build your confidence. And once you begin to build your confidence, you literally get a direct connection between that gut and that intuition feeling. A lot of us don't know what to do right now. You know how you don't know, should I make this decision? You feel indecisive. Does anybody ever feel indecisive? That's because you can't hear that internal voice inside of you. But the more that you continue to validate yourself, believe yourself, and actually have confidence in yourself, that inner voice inside of you will begin to speak louder and louder and louder. I had a friend literally tell me, the more that you don't listen to your gut, the less loud it will be. So that gut feeling inside of you, your intuition, is always trying to navigate you to the right direction, right? Navigate you to safety, navigate you to greatness. But the more that you decide to listen to external opinions or external validation, needing that external validation, that internal validation, which is your soul and that gut feeling, the volume gets lower, lower, and lower. And that gut, your intuition can save your life. This is why you have to make sure you validate yourself, my friends, so you can get that a stronger connection with your intuition. So literally back to the story, I was invited to this event, and my intuition was just telling me, Tess, I don't think it's a good idea. It was just telling me, I don't know how to explain it, my friends. But like I said, the more that you just practice this, right? The more you practice listening to you, trusting you, prioritizing you, your intuition will always lead you to where you need to go. So I said, no, everybody, I'm not going. I had another person call me, invite me to the event. Had some folks texting me. I had another person call me. Several people called me like, Tess, you ain't going. Tess, you're not going. Tess, what's going on? Why you not coming to the event? To the point where I started to feel a little, maybe I should go, or my friends. One thing I love about validating yourself is that you realize it doesn't matter how many times you say no. You have to be able to say no more than once. That's validating yourself. Saying no is validate. Saying no to everybody else can be a way that you validate yourself, my friends. Because guess what? That event, half of the people who was calling me to see if I was going to go, do you think they went? They ended up having everything else to do. They couldn't go. Look at how life just turns out sometimes. So sometimes you can feel pressure to do things you don't want to do. Sometimes you may not even know what you want to do. You may feel that indecisive feeling. But in order to understand and have that clear direction, because if you're like me, you want clear direction, right? You want to know what's next. You want to know, okay, what's the best path forward for me? How can I not end up in a crazy, jacked up, terrible situation like I had before? How can I actually rise to the occasion of me? And validating yourself is that secret, my friend. Validating who you are. And the more that you validate yourself, you learn who you are and not who people told you you should be. You're not all the opinions of everybody around you. You are who you decide to listen to. And the more that you listen to yourself, the more confidence you'll build, the more love you'll have for yourself, and the more important that you will see of celebrating yourself every day, my friend. Celebrating yourself isn't just on Fridays. Celebrating yourself isn't just on Mondays. Celebrating yourself every single day. We're no longer tolerating our purpose, we're celebrating it. We're no longer tolerating our passion, we're celebrating. We're no longer just tolerating our heart and our mind. We're going to celebrate our hearts and minds every single day because it's time for us to validate ourselves, my friends, and no longer need the external validations of others. You were created to succeed over the suicide of your mental health, goals, and life. And the more that you validate yourself, the more you will be able to redefine success and transform your life. My friends, my name is Tez, and you know it's always a pleasure when I get on here and I can just share my story with you, share my truth. Not because it's about me, but because I want you to see what it's like to be transparent, what it's like to have that true authenticity of being who you are. Me sharing my story with you, I hope that inspires you to one, be honest and open up your story with yourself in order for you to free yourself and share your story with whoever. Because listen, your story is yours and you don't need anybody to validate it. All you need is to make sure you're no longer tolerating yourself and you start celebrating yourself more and more because you were worth it, you were worthy, and you will always be worthy. Till next time, my friends.